All right, Tracy, thank you very much. In continuing coverage this morning, we look to Utah, where Tyler Robinson, the suspect charged in the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk, appeared virtually in a Provo, Utah courtroom Tuesday afternoon. Robinson made his initial appearance from jail in front of a district court judge who read through the multiple charges against him. The judge informed Robinson that he could face the death penalty. Robinson, who appeared to be wearing a protective vest, spoke only when asked to state his name. Robinson has yet to be appointed an attorney. His next hearing is scheduled for September the 29th. Of course, there has been an immense amount of online discussion regarding Charlie Kirk following his assassination. Some of it has even caught the attention of Montana officials. Recently, Governor Greg Gianforte commented on some of the more divisive aspects of this discourse, saying, quote, "It's disgusting to see people using their freedom of speech to celebrate Charlie Kirk's murder on social media and further divide our country. I swore an oath to uphold the laws of Montana and our Constitution, including the freedom of speech, regardless of how vile it is. In fact, I signed a law in 2023 that prohibits the termination of employees for their social media posts. Now is a time to heal as a nation, not divide." Alex McCollum read the text of the bill that Governor Gianforte mentioned and now brings us a look at the specifics of the policy.
The law puts restrictions on how employers can access an employee's personal social media accounts in the name of protecting employee free speech. Now, it does set up guidelines on when and how an employer can request access and what rights an employee has. The law says employers cannot request usernames or passwords from employees for personal accounts. They can't request an employee to access their social media in their presence, and they can't ask an employee to share information from their personal accounts. However, employers can request access when it's part of an employee misconduct or defamation investigation, they believe an employee is sharing confidential company information, or if it's part of a larger legal investigation. Now, an employer cannot discipline or fire an employee for not complying with a request that doesn't meet those guidelines. They also cannot be fired or disciplined for legal free speech on social media unless that speech violates written company policy or the employee's contract. I spoke with Lee Banville, director of the Journalism School, to learn more when it comes to social media laws and what you should and shouldn't post online. He says you should remember whether you're writing something on a public page or in a direct message, it's considered public.
I think people misunderstand that. They think, oh, well, I did this on Snapchat and it's supposed to disappear, or, this was a DM on Instagram and so people won't see it. That's just not legally true. Like, people the law doesn't see it as a private statement. It sees it as you putting a message out to the world in a way.
Banville says right now his growing concern is people not speaking about current events when that speech is thoughtful and protected. Now, it's worth noting this law only applies for personal social media accounts, not for accounts made for the company. The law also says employees can take legal action to protect their accounts when an employer requests access. Reporting in Bozeman, I'm Alex McCollum, NonStop Local.